Something remarkable has just happened on the world stage. Vladimir Putin's Kremlin has issued a direct charge against Britain, and not just the government, but Karma himself. They're alleging something that sounds almost ridiculous, but it's already making headlines across Europe and could signal a dramatic shift in how Russia plans to face the West. Let's go into what's just been said and why it matters. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. Let's break this down, because this story, despite it sounds absolutely bizarre, actually tells us a lot about where tensions between Russia and the West are heading. The Kremlin has now accused Keir Starmer of organizing a so-called false flag operation in Ukraine. Essentially a staged attack aimed to make Russia look culpable. According to Vladimir Putin's foreign intelligence agency, the SVR, Britain is upset that efforts to isolate Russia and make it into a global pariah are failing. In a statement released by the SVR titled, "The English Woman is Messing Up Again," the agency claims Starmer's administration and British intelligence services are preparing what they dubbed a disgusting provocation in response to what they view as Russia's accomplishments on the battlefield. Now, let's be perfectly clear. These are Kremlin allegations, not verified facts. But here's what the Russians are claiming. They allege that Britain has recruited a small group of Russian nationals who are currently fighting on the Ukrainian side, and that these individuals have purportedly been brought to the UK for sabotage training. Their supposed mission to target either a Ukrainian Navy ship or a foreign civilian vessel at a European port. The idea, according to Moscow's intelligence services, is that after the strike takes place, Western countries would then blame Russia, generating justification for even larger military aid to Ukraine and more confrontation with Moscow. In their words, Britain is expecting the Russophobic European elite will accept the fake news and rally with STARMA and NATO in escalating the confrontation. It doesn't stop there. The SVR further believes that this alleged group would be given Chinese-made underwater equipment to make it appear as though China were helping Russia. A move that, if true, would serve to widen divisions between Beijing and the West. The Kremlin statement is packed with its usual propaganda tone, criticizing London as Peridius Albion, an old phrase the Russians commonly use to describe British cunning, but then accusing modern Britain of having lost its strategic thinking. They even argue London's rapid slide to the margins of world history has also influenced the brains of its intelligence services. For context, this is not the first time Russia has accused the UK of coordinating sabotage plans. Back in August, the same Russian intelligence service claimed Britain was planning huge raids on Russian oil tankers, operations that they said would be disguised as environmental accidents, supposedly to provoke instability in energy markets and justify NATO response. Again, no evidence was ever produced, but it reveals a persistent pattern. Moscow continually accusing the UK of preparing secret strikes or provocations, each time with different twists designed to support the Kremlin's message that the West is the aggressor. And this latest charge comes as a number of observers say Russia is shifting into a new psychological and propaganda phase. According to the Institute for the Study of War, a respected U.S. research tank, Russia has now entered what it considers Phase 0, the preparatory stage for a potential large-scale battle with NATO. That means cranking up disinformation, pushing fear narratives across Europe, and testing how Western politicians and media respond. The think tank argues this Phase 0 entails situation setting using propaganda, hybrid warfare, cyber attacks, and drone incursions to prepare the groundwork for escalation later. And in that sense, crazy assertions like these about Keir could potentially be part of a broader Kremlin campaign to plant confusion, to sow fractures between Western partners, and to keep domestic audiences within Russia convinced that their nation is under siege. From the UK side, there's been no official response yet to these fresh Kremlin statements, and it's unlikely there will be. British officials tend to dismiss such claims outright, perceiving them as part of Moscow's information warfare playbook. Still, it's notable how directly the accusation names the British Prime Minister himself, suggesting that the Kremlin's information war is now as political as it is military. And it highlights how far we've come from the early days of the Ukraine war, when the conflict was primarily restricted to the battlefield. And the fact that Vladimir Putin's intelligence agencies are now openly accusing Keir Starmer personally of sabotage training and false flag operations tells you just how hot the information war between Moscow and London has become. In other news, Kembadon appeared to take a thinly veiled swipe at Nigel Farage, even comparing him to a pig during a headline talk at the Conservative Party convention in Manchester. In a speech that aimed to rally disillusioned members while avoiding direct conflict with Reform UK, the Conservative leader name-checked the Reform founder in the same sentence as a famous passage from Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw. Whether it's Starmer, Farage, Corbyn, or Davey, Badenoch-informed delegates, all these individuals are shaking the same magic money tree, following the same failed playbook. No plan for expansion, no honesty about the scale of the obstacles, and it always leads to the same result. More government, more taxes, more debt. Then invoking, sure, she added with a pointed sneer, it's irresponsible. It's cynical, and it's why Britain needs Conservatives back in authority, but we can't beat them merely by attacking them. As George Bernard Shaw said, never wrestle with a pig. You both get dirty, and the pig likes it. Her remark drew laughs and applause from some members in the hall, but it also raised eyebrows given its apparent reference to Farage, whose party continues to siphon votes from the Tories. Over the course of a 45-minute address, Bardon announced a raft of headline-grabbing initiatives. From scrapping the climate change legislation to cutting the civil service and tightening benefit regulations, she promised to halt rip-off university courses, remove taxes on family farms, and revamp the immigration system. But her most dramatic revelation was the proposed abolition of stamp duty. Calling it a bad tax. Bardon stated we must open up our housing market because a society where no one can afford to purchase or relocate is a society where social mobility is dead. Stamp duty raised around $13.9 billion in the last financial year, with the Institute for Fiscal Studies estimating that removing it on principal houses would cost about $4.5 billion. The Conservatives however claim the true figure could reach £9 billion, citing forecasts that Labour's Chancellor Rachel Reeves plans to hike the fee. Badenoch pledged a new golden rule for her economic plans to reinvest just half of any savings from spending cuts, using the balance to lower the deficit. She said that cutting student numbers could save £33 billion cash she would divert into tripling the apprenticeship budget, claiming the plan was fiscally sustainable. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet so, make sure you do leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British material. Thank you. Take care.